since he's only seen like a couple of episodes, and I've seen practically nothing.
Mhm.
So.
Yeah, I watched the spoiler warning people when they played this one for, I think, like 3 episodes, and they were in... they're an acquired taste as it is, and I did not acquire it with that particular series.
And originally I was going to call this particular stream Fulfilling the Promise, because Swift actually lent us this game, and as we have told people before, if you lend us a game and it is reasonable, none of the that one rat game that then
Bad
was,
Rats.
Bad Rats, the one that he was threatening us with. We probably won't play that.
Well, I remember though I offered to in RE0, yeah.
Well, hence the Wii.
Wii.
And I actually would have been playing this earlier, but due to a unfortunate bit of circumstance, it was put in a pile with other things that I was going to deal with later. And it wasn't until then that I realized, oh, I have this game that I need to play.
Right.
So, playing it is exactly what I'm going to be doing.
Excellent. So, Sprawl vs. Daikatana will stream it. Once again, I'll stream it. No promise on the Wii.
Let's go for hard.
Ooh.
I'm feeling frisky.
Living dangerously. I had to say, a game where the easiest difficulty is normal, and then hard is like normal difficulty or whatever, that just really rubs me the wrong way. It's like you're codifying the whole, 6 to 10 review scale or something.
King once wrote that nightmares exist outside of logic, and there's little fun to be had in explanations. They're antithetical to the poetry of fear. In a horror story, the victim keeps asking why, but there can be no explanation, and there shouldn't be one. The unanswered mystery is what stays with us the longest.
Yes, Swift made it.
My name is Alan Wake.
I think we're going to try to cut back on the flow of dialogue a little bit, because this game is so story, heavy.
Right.
I've always had a vivid imagination, but this dream unsettled me. It was wild and dark and weird, even by my standards.
Even by his standards.
So yes, it began with a dream. Following a typical nightmare pattern, I was late, desperately trying to reach my destination.
Oh, that was a Stephen King quote, Flython? Gotcha.
Reason I couldn't remember. I'd been driving too fast down a coastal road to get there. I'd seen the hitchhiker too late.
Game audio bumped a tad. Let me know if it needs a tad more.
He was dead. I was convinced they'd put me in jail and I would never see Alice again.
Of course, as I understand it, Alan Wake is basically Stephen King of the game.
Suddenly, his body was gone.
Certainly, there are far worse things you could
I was
have.
in shock from the crash. I could hardly stay on my feet.
Python, I know what you did last summer, Alan Wake. Man, there is a song on these, like a pop song on the radio. Now it's like I know what you did last summer or something. And every time I hear something like that, it's just like, how many kids are going to grow up with that being their experience for those things, and not realize what we were talking about?
The lighthouse. I knew there was something important waiting for me there.
So it was, how dare us insult Alan Wake by referring to him as Stephen King? What a hack.
The bridge had collapsed. I'd have to find another way to the lighthouse.
Oh dear. Oh my gosh. Is that this game's feathers and stuff?
Well, considering there's 100 of them, yes. And that's not really that bad, though.
Yeah, I guess if push comes to shove, we can just either ignore them or print out a list or something. Or if anybody in the chat wants to point out the collectibles to us. When he's complaining to the darn kids on his lawn. Yeah, Swift even says Charlie Bob.
I can't hear it.
Do you, Ryder? You think you're God? You think you can just make up stuff? Play with people's lives and kill them when you think it adds to the drama? You're in this story. single readable sentence in your books if it wasn't for your editor. You'll never publish another one of your shitty stories, 'cause I'm gonna kill you.
Level with me, Ben. Do you ever have nightmares or fantasy about critics wanting to kill you for stuff you make?
You missed your deadline!
I will say that
You can't stop!
well done by getting hit. Right.
The game was encouraging the guy attacking you.
There we go. But in answer to your question, no, I've never had a nightmare like that.
Hitchhiker was a character from the story I'd been working on.
I have had a nightmare of writing a book and not having it published for about 3-4 years.
But then you woke up and it was still true.
Right.
Die by the hands of your own creation.
Well, that's not good. I will say that's one thing that actually drew my attention to Alan Wake, and the fact that, you know, me being a writer, I'm immediately like, oh, this is finally a main character I can kind of get behind.
Right.
Instead of, you know, Scally McScally face, you know, your standard brown-haired, square-jawed shooter protagonist.
Right. Yeah, going back a bit, Swift was... You probably can't even really hear us over the rushing tornado in the background. I was starting to say turn that down, but then it's like
This is the truth. This is
dramatic
absolutely,
sequence,
yeah.
right?
There we go.
Oh no!
Stop! No! Damn it, die! No! No! No!
I was trapped. There was no way out.
Let's go back a little bit. Swift was saying, don't bother with the collectibles. You're probably not going to find them all anyway, and the game won't even keep track of it for you. Whereas Valiant was either joking or seriously, so we missed one while the guy was trying to murder you. Yeah, Valiant just then says, why did you only have 2 shots in that revolver?
The cabin was a death trap. I had to get out.
They can't hear us just fine. Ben asks about subtitles anyway, if that's even an option.
I thought I had turned them on. 1 second.
Okay. Oh,
Huh. I guess I hadn't saved.
wonderful.
There we go.
Follow the light.
A Cryptero.
Hey, Cryptera.
Silly people, shooting things that randomly teleport in front of you never works.
You are hurt. You should go into the light. You are only safe there.
Stay in the safe haven until you're completely healed. Okay.
Yeah, light is a very major mechanic in here.
Gotcha.
Well done. I have something important to tell you. It goes like this. For he did not know that beyond the lake he called home lies a deeper, darker ocean green, where waves are both wilder and more serene. To its ports I've been. To its ports I've been. Do you understand?
No.
I flunked English. Oh, is that a... Wait, I got it. It's Longfellow, right?
Flython, we do...
Dream to teach you. The darkness is dangerous. It's sleeping now.
But he asked if we have the American...
Hold on.
It will wake
Let's try not to speak over this.
Right.
only show you the most important thing.
Well, that's what subtitles are for.
Well, sometimes I need to hear it
The
too.
Hitchhiker has been taken over by the Dark Presence. You can't hurt him now. The darkness protects him from all harm. Only light can drive the darkness away and make him vulnerable again. Here, take the light.
Ah, there we are. But yes, we do not have any DLC because, unfortunately, our 360 is not it's not really working that way.
Yeah, we don't have the Wi-Fi adapter, and the Ethernet thing is damaged.
You did it. Now the darkness no longer protects him, but it's still inside, controlling him. He can't be saved. He's still a threat. He is still your enemy. Here, take the gun.
Well, things escalated quickly. I guess that's the game just letting you know it's okay to shoot people you otherwise might not want to. Well, now we know it wouldn't have helped the caretaker if he had all 6 shots, because it still wouldn't have done it.
Good. You've done well. Remember what I've taught you. That is all. I will give you back your dream.
Okay, bro.
In the nightmare, a terrible darkness was taking over the world. The lighthouse was the last safe place on Earth.
I've been more curious about who the ominous deep voice that was giving you guns was. Ghost of Charlton Heston, maybe. Well, that escalated quickly, Cryptero says. Yeah, seriously. Kill all hobos is the message I'm getting from this game.
You made me this way, and now I'm gonna kill you.
Oh, it actually knocked him off.
Oh, yeah.
Interesting.
Now, Python was asking about the American Nightmares DLC, and we explained we can't. If there's been patches or updates to this game, we don't have those either, just because we can't get online on our 360. But yeah, Swift was not a fan. For wave-based gameplay, what do you need? Just for enemies to come in waves, like just an arcadey type thing. Oh, it's not canon anyway. Okay. Maybe somebody heard the term Xbox Live Arcade and thought they had to make an 80s style arcade game.
It is kind of neat that...
that is exactly it. They confirm. Yeah, right.
Flare gun, huh? This looks promising.
Well, if enemies are vulnerable to light, I would figure that'd be the way to do it.
Just like
Or is this a Dark Souls mod? It's awfully dark. What if the idea with flares is that you can kill enemies they're still covered in... Never mind. The gimmick is that it kills everything in the room.
Which is a pretty darn good gimmick.
I'll say.
That said, I'll probably try a little bit of research, since I have an extra shot, to see if... Okay, so that does ash them.
Gotcha. That's pretty cool. I assume we're going to have a limited supply of those things.
Yes, we had 3 shots.
Imagine this, a rider foiled by narrative contrivance.
Poetic irony.
I can just imagine at this point, if it's a less serious game, about Alan arguing with the voice. Like, those guys weren't there.
I don't think he's a lucid dreamer. Okay, so dodging has its limits.
Right. So this is not a Dark Souls game, then?
No.
Flare Gun Swift explains it's basically your get out of jail free card. Right. I also want to know if you ever played the Max Payne games. I played the first one a little bit, but didn't really get into it. So I guess no would be the proper answer. Neither one of us ever played them.
Okay, I'm guessing they're just going to infinitely respawn there.
Right. Until you're comfortable with the tutorial and everything.
I can keep this
Game
up.
confirms it.
To the lighthouse we go.
Very fortunate none of these things have fallen in the middle of the pier that would smash the whole thing down. So do you have a stamina bar.
Seems like I have something like that.
Yeah,
like, it's not running as quickly.
Right.
But if I do have something like that, it isn't...
It's not visible. Okay.
Yeah.
Cryptero wonders what the darkness is or signifies in this game. I kind of do too. I'm sure that'll be the big mystery that will gradually be revealed as we play through it.
Right.
My first thought is a metaphor for people that hate his work, and that's clearly not it.
Honestly, just speaking on purely writer terms, it could very easily be things like his self-doubt. Because
Right.
even, me as a not very serious writer, certainly not like Alan Wake is probably supposed to be, like, people actually get a little bit annoyed that I will... that I actually have nightmare-type situations where, like, I will honestly believe that my work isn't very good, even if people are actively telling me that they're enjoying it. It's like, you don't understand how much crippling self-doubt some writers have. So having a character that's basically saying that you're no good and you can't kill them, yeah, I can't imagine him having something like that.
Right.
Swift, who has beaten this game, says to let Swift know when you figure out the metaphor, because you could use it itself.
Flathan asks because they're also made by Remedy, and they're both really good. Gotcha. I didn't realize that was all the same studio. I can kind of see it now that you mention it. Every time we have a games made by the same developer of other games,
Go stand next to that old gentleman there. I want a shot of you.
I like imagining what happens if you would swap the protagonists around.
I'll even give you a title for the shot. A city boy, moments before he got eaten by a bear.
Hello there. You picked a good time to visit our town. Deerfest is just 2 weeks away.
Deerfest, huh? Did you hear that?
This yokel.
You have a lovely wife. If you don't mind me saying. I'm Pat Maine, by the way. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, I'm Alan Wake.
I won't pretend I don't recognize a famous writer such as yourself, Mr. Wake. A pleasure. I'm an avid reader myself. I hope this isn't too presumptuous of me, but I'm the night host at the local radio station.
Swift has a river bear. Well, that's where the salmon are. So,
I'm on vacation. In fact,
Cryptero, Bright
I'd
Falls,
appreciate it if
anything
we could
sounds
keep
cheery or
our
happy
family
is never
between the two of
cheery or
us.
happy.
Yeah, kind of like Crystal Lake.
I think you figured out this genre,
You can
Cryptero.
trust me to keep this going. Not a hard man to track down if you change your mind, though. I hope you two have a lovely holiday.
Lorax asked when Sheep Fest was. Yeah, that was the first thing I thought of for Deerfest. Was that here in mid-Missouri, there is a town about 50 miles or so from here that every summer advertises for something in June called the Testicle Festival,
Right.
or exactly what it sounds like, a bull
Yeah?
things that are eaten as a delicacy around these parts, as it were. And that's small town America for you.
Great. Just want to make sure you can relax and recharge.
Oh.
So, how is the place? Has it gotten your creative juices flowing?
Barry, we're just settling in.
Okay, Al. I'll call back later to make sure you're doing okay. And
This is a person that would hate being called Al.
Okay? Okay. Just looking out for you, buddy. Talk to you later.
I love you too, Barry.
You know he's going to be calling you every 5 minutes.
Barry is Barry. I can always turn off the phone.
What did I tell you?
I approve.
Text message from Barry. He says hi to you too.
Very nice.
But yeah, some agents are that bad.
Flathon was hung up on the main Stephen King connection and missed that. Yeah, we talked about Max Payne earlier.
Damn.
And Lion says Pat Maine. He swapped the M and the P. Not too hard to figure that one out, right? Now we know what happened to Max Payne when he retired. And
Stop at the local diner to get the cabin key from the landlord. A Mr. Carl Stuckey. He's waiting for us.
Well,
Go fill her up
careful you get the key. I'll pick you up here in, say, 15 minutes?
Sure.
Lorax never understood the nickname Al. Alan is short enough as it is, in his opinion.
Go on. I'll promise to behave.
Some people just insist on shortening everything down to one syllable.
Yeah, it's supposed to... Alan sounds a little formal, whereas he's very obviously trying to play up the buddy-buddy angle.
Right.
It's like, hey, Al!
Towns where everybody knew everybody.
Welcome to the Odeon
Dear.
I'm looking for...
Mr. Wake. Alan Wake. Oh, God! I am your biggest fan. I know people say that all the time, but I really am.
I'm glad to hear that.
Rose.
Rose, I'm looking for Mr. Stuckey. Carl Stuckey?
Carl? Oh, of course, Mr. Wake. He must have gone to visit the restroom. He'll be back in
So
a
he's still
moment.
watching, but for our info, tracking herself as the game gave her a panic attack sometime. Oh, okay. So this is supposed to get pretty scary at parts.
And you keep it here. Well, okay.
If
Good for you.
If anybody feels a little overwhelmed by the game, you just it's okay.
Try the coffee. Just don't blame me when you fall in love, because it'll break your heart when you have to leave.
Rusty,
do me a favor, Sonny.
I want to play as that guy.
I could really use a tune right now. Coconut, number 6 in the
Earlier, while we couldn't talk over all of the tutorial stuff, they mentioned that for the pirated versions of the game, put an eye patch over Alan.
Yeah, are you serious? Coconut again? You disgust me. Call yourself a rocker.
Exactly, Flacco. These guys are the best.
It does that. Get stuck. Yeah, you need to give it a good solid whack. Now that's what I'm talking about. Yes.
This is it. I've died and gone to hell.
Oh, hey. Nothing wrong with grabbing a random thermos.
Also, one of the few thermoses is probably a real object in the world.
Go in there, young man. You can hurt yourself in the dark.
I think I can handle it, ma'am. I didn't want to wait. I wanted to find
You don't
Stucky,
wanna die,
to get the
do
key
you?
and get out as soon as
Worse.
possible. The waitress was giving me a headache.
he
Overeager
didn't
fans
listen.
always did.
That's not ominous at all. Clearly the ladies' room, dude. Exactly, Cryptero. It sounds like two old best friends, right? Python said it's a log lady, and Sway was thinking that too. What is that about? What is that a reference to?
Mr. Stucky?
Oh, is it Twin Peaks? Okay.
Carl couldn't make it. Unfortunately, he was taken ill. But I have the key for you and instructions on how to get to the lake.
Okay.
I wish you a good stay in my cabin. I'll come by later to check how you've settled in. And to meet your wife.
Thanks.
Officially creeped out now. Yeah, Twin Peaks, gotcha.
Cauldron Lake is a special place. Very inspiring.
Now, Cauldron Lake, that is a name that it probably is as ominous as it sounds. Oh, yeah, Twin Peaks coming back. Cool.
Lucky this time, young man. You can hurt yourself in the dark. This really ought to be fixed, and then I must remind Sarah to...
Check out Tara. Yeah. She reminded me when I saw this one in that, because this is this is before I stopped watching the spoiler when people do it. She jumped out at me as a lot like the old lady with the veil in Nocturne.
She was the attendant to the ultimate end boss.
Exactly. Cauldron Lake sounds like some witchcraft afoot.
Local musicians. We're waiting for Dr. Hartman to come pick them up. They wandered off from his clinic at the Cauldron Lake Lodge.
Huh. Good to know.
Thanks, Ranger. That's a great touch at the end there.
Mission accomplished. The key and the directions.
My hero. I got some.
She knows what game
flashlights,
she's
just
in.
case.
Yep. Not even going to mention the...
Hey, wait! Mrs. Your keys!
That diner was a real nut house.
I was starting to say he's not even going to mention the old lady that wanted specifically to see her, but you probably did during this.
We're supposed to be on vacation, Alice. I'll figure
Oh,
it
like
out.
to
when we get back
Hogwarts.
Okay, we can talk about this later.
Yeah, you'd expect there to be a Cauldron Lake somewhere around there.
I didn't want to talk about it. I wanted to bury my head in sand. Once upon a time, I was a successful writer, but that was a long time ago. I hadn't been able to write a word in 2 years. Not
That's
since
what the
my last
blackness
book.
is, a metaphor for writer's block.
And again, I can kind of sympathize with that, because even though I never suffer from writer's block, I know some people who do. And there's also just the fact that once you become a successful writer, it can become very hard to break out of the rut that people want to put you in.
Right.
So some people can actually feel so trapped by it that they basically just stop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
And I agree, I thought I'd love to live somewhere like that.
I think I fought a Draugr in Skyrim, this area once.
It's something, all right. Don't worry, honey. I'll get you inside safe and sound before it gets dark. And I've got the
It's going to go much deeper than writer's block.
I always had a phobia. The fear of darkness. I wanted to make sure we were inside with the lights on.
It'd probably be
before sunset.
Noctophobia, I'm guessing.
Probably, yeah. I just want to see what happens if I decide to just go the other way.
Just leave. Bye, honey.
There's no dashing going on here. Interesting. Yeah, I do like how this looks. That's really picturesque.
Yeah, gorgeous view. And then as somebody not comments, he is suppressing to avoid spoiling things.
And that's the thing. You can make all the comments you want as long as you spoil nothing. Hey!
But if you do go all the way back, Thermos. Very cool.
The cabin obviously got its name from the shape of the island. It looked like a giant
Huh.
bird leg. Alice had mentioned that the lake was a caldera. There was a dormant volcano under it.
That would explain why it's called Cauldron Lake, because that would actually be the shape it's in.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting. Well, my innate snoopiness has helped us out.
You were rewarded with Thermos.
A thermos without coffee, though. Oh, no shortcuts can be taken, I see.
Ven feels that even getting snide about certain aspects of plot mechanics is probably giving too much away. Yeah, err on the side of caution when it comes to spoilers on this one. And Ven's been looking forward to playing it for some time.
Yeah, for a little while now. And yeah, unlike our usual, we'll probably not be quite so, bro-oppy as usual.
Right.
Because, for a game that's trying to be serious, we should at least, give it a chance. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Certainly, not be too dark and depressing and everything, of course, but definitely be taken a little more seriously than usual. A little more seriously. Go to the cabin, mister.
That's sad, because I know that this is, along the more horror lines. I wish I could take down those crows and get some stuff.
Use the flashlight, leaves the flashlight to take them out.
I can't even use a flashlight right now.
That's right. Yeah, your wife is hoarding all of them.
Well, I think it's more that Alan hasn't lit them, and as a result, I can't even. Like when I press L2, it doesn't actually do anything.
Let's see. So Ven says that his outlook on the story, just overall, is a bit negative. And Swift thinks it's one of those games that gets better on future playthroughs. I can definitely see that. That's one of the things about the kind of mystery, more drama-oriented games. It's like some people would rather experience it once, go into it blind, and that's that.
Generator had been connected to the power cable.
And then some people are like, you want to play it again, knowing now what they didn't know before, and see how it all kind of fits together. And I think a lot of that will hinge on how much you liked the writing in the game.
Right.
If you think it's worth re-examining with a more informed eye.
Okay, I'll look around a bit.
All jokes aside, Cryptero, it's one of those things I'm kind of wanting to make sure to balance on this one. is if you have people like Sway.
It was a beautiful place. I told myself I could rest here, sleep here, and forget about my work. I thought we could be happy here.
But you have people like Sway that do actually kind of treat it as a horror game. You don't want to hurt the atmosphere by cracking wise over, every time something spooky happens.
Right. And this is also kind of a difference between Wayne and myself, because Wayne is one of those people that that either doesn't get scared or at least doesn't admit that he gets scared about anything.
Yeah, I don't really ever really get like I can get startled. Like I can twitch a little bit at a sudden noise and jump a little bit. That's about it. Whereas, yeah, so and I just have that dissociated kind of fan personality anyway. I just don't get into things to a large extent.
Whereas I definitely do. So yeah, we do have the situation where if I'm getting into something and then Wayne starts cracking wise,
right.
It would just kind of sour me a bit.
I'd never heard of him before.
Thomas Zane.
I want to say that's one of the Western's writers. Am I thinking of somebody else, Zane, though?
Aha!
Oh, clearly we're thinking of our Zane. I like Ben's joke. Twitch a little, you've been twitching for hours. Then has played the whole game, but in one extra DLC. Gotcha.
And actually, again, I can kind of sympathize with Alan here, because I actually have been in situations where I would be writing something, the other person would just absolutely love it, like love the character and whatever we're doing, and it actually just burns me out because I get tired of them constantly trying to push me to do something that I don't want to do anymore. So yeah, I would probably freak out if I was like, I'm going to be on vacation. They're like, hey, surprise, you get to work now.
He specializes in helping artists. Maybe...
So now you want to get me committed?
No, it's not like that. That's not... Alan? Alan?
Just don't. I don't want to hear it. God damn it, Alice.
The fact that you can actually see a face in the darkness really does well, though.
I needed some time alone to think things through.
Sway's defense, she said it wasn't like a horror game, it just triggers something. Gotcha. He is a little on edge, Cryptero, but I think the idea is supposed to be that he's just really stressed out about what's going on, and then his wife springs that on him. And things are about to get really bad.
Alice! The cabin had gone dark. All the lights were out.
Alice, I'm coming!
You should have killed those crows when you had the chance. Look at this.
What the hell?
Alice? Alice? Oh no!
Keep going.
Wake up.
Alice?
Waking up in the crashed car felt like I had woken from one nightmare and entered another.
It felt like it. Seems like that's what happened.
I couldn't remember how I got there. All I knew was that something terrible had happened to Alice. The phone was dead. I'd have to find help on foot.
It is interesting that it is actually a documented fact that when people go through a traumatic thing, especially if it's something like a murder or whatnot,
Alice's Things was a book. The Creator's
they can
Dilemma
actually...
by a Dr. Emil Hartman. Seeing the book brought back my fight with Alice.
So he,
the guy's,
but I didn't like the guy.
so he drove off after they argued, and
that is entirely possible.
Okay.
Assuming, of course, this isn't a nightmare.
Right.
Yeah, basically what will happen is that a person will just completely blank out, and they will continue with life as normal. And it won't be until later that they'll start remembering what had happened, basically as their mind starts coping with it.
Gotcha.
So yeah, it is entirely possible that
the gas station was my best bet.
That he would be like searching for help or something, and have forgotten what happened.
I can see that. So you think that's what they might be going with here?
I'm thinking this is probably more of a nightmare sequence. Damn. Yeah, I'm also willing to bet that, there is the traumatic thing that would explain it.
Right.
Basically, I'm saying that this is not completely out of the realm of possibility.
Lorax said that was the Alan he was thinking of that freaked him out. I used to hearing his name screamed in terror. Yeah, she sold that one. Grotero must have had an older sibling to help her through that noctophobia. And, yeah, I was thinking, yeah, it's one of those things where it's like you would think that somebody with that fear would have kept a flashlight like on her, you know.
Not necessarily, because think of your arachnophobia and the fact we don't have any raid in the house right now.
Oh, it's true.
It's like when you assume that you're safe, you don't keep things around you.
That's a good point.
I was named the author.
Big old spider here the other day.
I couldn't remember writing it. In the scene on the page, the hero was attacked by an axe murderer in the woods at night.
Wonderful.
Manuscript page.
Swift will say nothing as to the car theory.
The man turned to face me. His face was covered in shadows. It was hard to make him out in the darkness of the forest that surrounded us.
That's the thing, yeah. I mean, you all can snigger, snort, and point your fingers at me for being a rube that can't guess correctly. But as long as you don't spoil it.
It was a scene from a nightmare, but I was awake.
Soy was saying that if that had happened to her, then Swift better not come back if they were the one that left.
Yes, as much as possible, I'll be hoping to get those manuscript pages, because that's actually something that could be interesting.
So Soy says she can relate to that. Just like the dark, and also doesn't have a flashlight. But yeah, you don't have a phobia the way that Alice Wake. Yeah, that didn't sound right. Alice and Alan. I mean, their parents must have been. It might be. Their parents must have been insufferable about that wedding.
Great, now you have me questioning my own memory.
The lights up ahead were a good sign. Maybe I wouldn't have to hike all the way down to the gas station to find a phone.
Whereas Sway was saying that she can't sleep in pitch dark, needs to have a light or something on. Cryptera says, you need to have any light disturbs you. Yeah, especially what people call blue light, electronic light. Yeah, it's like I understand that's something that can really set some people off, and they can't sleep at all or sleep very fitfully if there's that kind of light in their line of sight. Whereas some people just don't really have it bother them at all.
Right. Oh, that's not pleasant.
What was?
Oh, the fact that you have trees completely uprooted.
Right.
Is that something? No. Just a trick of the light.
What was the first part of that, the narrator's line? A glimmer of hope, or just a trick of the light, I think.
Please,
something like that.
I've been in an accident. Hey! Hey, you!
Phil!
There's been an accident. I need help. Listen, I need to...
Premium cabins for rent in...
Oh, hell.
Carl Stuckey. Pleased to meet you. Non-refundable.
I love the guy is lucid, even though quite clearly,
even though he's clearly not
possessed. Yeah. Because normally, what games will do and stuff like this is we'll just have them just growl or yell at you or something. Whereas, like, to show this guy is crazy, they're having him repeat himself and things like that. Right. Corteria wants to make sure we're not playing Assassin's Creed here with this climbing tree nonsense. That's cool.
Yeah, I like how they're basically playing up the idea yeah, there was the normal person there, and then the possessing entity.
Right.
So that you have the situation where he seems to be acting normal, but it's completely wrong.
Are you remember using your Energizer brand batteries with your Energizer flashlight? Product has been placed.
Yes.
Great Falls Sheriff Station.
Hello? Hello?
That's not good.
I think the phone even started working in a horror game.
This is bad.
Yeah, Cortera agreed with you. Just really likes the sort of the voice there.
Well, I'm pretty sure that was a yep.
Swift suggests a drinking game. Take a drink and there's a horror film reference. We open up with The Shining. Python, the entire stream audience would be dead.